How's it going, Blazers? We're going to bring you specifications you can relate to so you have an educated decision on your purchases. This is a Terzuola. This is the FX-525Ti-BL. Long name, but it's basically the titanium version of this knife here. So you can kind of see how that's going to be in your pocket if you're looking to pick this one up. This is built by Fox, so that is that collaboration that they have going on. So that is how it's going to sit in your pocket. And then we'll see how it is otherwise. So we're just playing around with a different area here. As I moved my location within the house, so hopefully lighting's okay. I'm seeing a little bit of shadows. If that doesn't bother you, let me know as well. But otherwise I got to kind of play around with things to get things back to the way I like it. So this was inadvertently loaned by Smokie Mountain Knife Works. So you can see in the upper corner, if you want to see actually me unboxing this knife, this is supposed to be a Dragotac, and I got this knife in. So that's kind of what happened with that whole thing. But this one comes in at 3.1 ounces. So as my measurement comes about, so 3.1 ounces equals 15 quarters and 1 penny. So if you want to check that out, pick those things up. So that's where, if you want to check out the channel and actually kind of follow along with other reviews, that's kind of like the little precursor things you can have with you. Some quarters, a penny, and then that will give you an idea as far as, okay, well, what does this weigh in my hand? Because this is a titanium knife, which is normally titanium knives are a little bit lighter. This one is not milled though, so it has no weight relief on the inside of it. So it's a little bit higher than kind of what I was expecting for it, but even for the blade length, that's actually pretty decent if you're going to do that ounce per inch type of deal. Currently pricing is $239.95, and then MSRP was fairly high in my consideration. So $379.95 is MSRP. Currently, that I found it now for $239.95. That's it's a bit high. But Lyman Polo gauge, basically 1 pound, 15.6 ounces for this to actually be able to get it to deploy. So that's the weight that it takes to do that. So really good for that as far as that deployment, and also for that thumb disc is a nice way to do that. So 3.5 inches, that's a drop point blade. The measurement comes down to basically this little point at the edge of the handle. For that 3.5 inches, there's a flat grind that goes all the way across. N690, so N690 is going to be really, really good at corrosion resistance, about 91 percentile as far as the other steels out there. And edge retention is about 31 percentile, so a little bit lower, but still a decent blade to use. And then you won't really need to worry too much about any rusting, but it's still something to take care of. So it's not something that you just put in the seawater and be fine with it. Right hand tip up as far as how this is going to carry. So there's that one method for it. Did have a little bit of issue with some of the ramping for the pocket clip, but overall it was a really good in and out of the pocket. It's about 1 pound, 3.4 ounces to get it out of the pocket for it. Behind the edge thickness was about 5 sheets of paper, so take 5 sheets of paper out of your printer. That's basically 5 sheets of paper behind there, about 22 thousandths. And then the ramp for it, it does have a ramp for the detent ball. So basically from the release onto the initial is about 20 degrees, and then you're going to have about 45 degrees until you get fully onto the blade. So it doesn't go onto the blade until it's at that point. So that's one thing that I would prefer to have it just be on the blade from even a little bit about 20 to 30 degrees instead of 45, but it is smooth, and you can feel it kind of get onto that last point right at the end, but it's very smooth otherwise for that detent ramp. A blade stock is 2.99 millimeters for the blade stock, so that's also not too bad as well. But the things that I did find that were kind of concerning, won't be really able to see it too much probably for this as we're kind of out of focus, but the blade tip is very close to the edge of that handle. So probably a few sharpenings in, you're going to start to see that blade tip kind of poking out. So that's one thing that I think they should have maybe reconsidered with the way it's sitting. because they do have space for it, so it's not anything that is going to interfere with this lanyard hole at all. But that's something that is a concern for this knife, and for being one at $239. Unless you're not going to be using it very often, that might become an issue fairly quickly for that. Also for this one, it's one that I thought it was pretty interesting, but I don't know how old this one is. I didn't look at as far as when it was released, but it just seems a little bit further back as far as where the market progressed to. So for about $239, you're gonna be. I picked up my Riot. It wasn't the titanium, but it was a drop.com knife, and then that was a pretty good one. This down still has a ramp, but MSRP of $379. That's kind of pushing it there. So that's where with some of those things, the main reason why I would recommend not getting it, so kind of in that avoid category, is basically the price, basically the tip of the blade, no milling, and then that's kind of the downsides to it. So you might love it, and then it's great designer, so really well done with that. But also on the plus side, it does have really good smoothness for the ramp, and then it does have a really great thumb disc. So as far as actually having a deployment for a thumb disc, this is a really good deployment method. So it doesn't really hold up. It actually does do very well for that. But those are some of the things as far as why I would probably recommend not picking this one up. But let me know as far as how everything came together with the video and audio side, because partway through the video I probably switched over to my lavalier mic, because I'm using the regular camera one, and then just kind of trying to see what would work out better for it. But as again, coining my kids, that's about all I have to say about this one today.